Hi guys. All right, so we're still talking about our explicit and implicit information today. Miss Acton's got a few more examples for you. We've got a brand new passage today. So hopefully today will be the day that you can get all the answers correct. You really know what the difference between explicit and implicit are. So let's get started. So we've been looking at this picture of blueberries. I got rid of our boys, the four boys that were dancing, because we've seen that one a bunch of times. So I stuck with this one. I have another one on the next slide. So you guys know that the explicit, the obvious information is that they're blue, they're round, they're small. It's easy to find. It's right there in front of you. That's explicit information. The implicit information is what's hidden. It's what you have to use your brain to find. It's what you have to infer. Use what's in your brain, your background knowledge, and that it's sweet. You can't tell that these blueberries are sweet just by looking at them. I mean, for all you know, if you've never had a blueberry before, you might think they're spicy. It's just because you know that in your brain. Either you've tasted a blueberry before and you remember it and it's still in your brain, or somebody has told you about it and you remember that information and it's still in there. Same thing with it being juicy and healthy. Implicit information is what you just know in your brain and it's not obvious right in front of you like explicit is. So I have a new picture for you today. So this is an outlet that you would see like in your walls that you would put like your charger on, that you would like charge your iPad, your iPhone, your phone, your computer, your Chromebook. Um, that's something that you would see, and we know a lot of stuff about it, but just from looking at it, what's the explicit stuff that we know? Well, I see that it's white. I see that it's on the wall. You won't just see it just floating in the middle of nowhere. I've never really seen one on the ceiling. I guess that's a possibility. I've seen some in floors before, but that's really not very common. They're normally on walls. And I see that it's got, like holes in it, 6 holes, I think. Yeah, 6 holes in it. So those are the explicit things that I see about this. It's easy to find. All I have to do is look at that picture of it, look at any outlet. Miss Acton's got one right down here next to her that her Chromebook or their computer's charging on, and it's white, it's in the wall, and it has 6 holes in it. It's just what I see immediately. It's easy to find information about these outlets. The implicit information, what you know in your brain about them, is that if you try to put a finger or something in it, it's going to shock you because you know there's electricity in it. That's how it charges all of your, electronics. You also know that it charges things. You can't tell that by just looking at these things. That's why a lot of babies get in trouble. That's why you have to cover those things, because babies will try to stick their fingers in it because they don't know that, because their brains are not as smart as yours are. That's implicit information. It's things that you know in your brain because you're smart and you've learned it. And it's the things that you really have to dig for. Implicit information really shows you how smart you are. So I have our visuals. So remember, explicit, think about the milk. Easy to find. If I went up to any of you guys and I said, "Hey, where's the milk at?" You would know, oh, it's in the fridge. You won't say, "Ah, did I put that in the dog's cage? Did I put that in the mailbox for the mail delivery guy?" No, it's always in the fridge. And if it's not in the fridge in your home, it's in the fridge at the grocery store that you go and buy it at. So easy to find, like a jug of milk. Implicit information is a little bit trickier. There's a lot of information going on, but you have to dig for the one piece of information in your brain. You have to find it in your brain. So I use this example that has all these different circles and ovals, and there's one thing in here that you have to find to use your brain. You really have to look for it. Not really in this one because Miss Acton circled it, but it's a square. So you really have to dig for that information. I like to think of it as like a puzzle. When you first take a puzzle piece out of a puzzle you're about to build, you can't tell immediately where that piece of puzzle is supposed to go. There might be a part on it. You're like, oh, this is the character's eye. Oh, this is the corner piece. But you don't know exactly where that eye is going to go on the whole puzzle. You don't know if it's this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner. It's like a puzzle piece. You got to really use your brain to find that information. So yesterday, actually the past few days, we've been working with this pet tarantula, my pet tarantula article, and I like using this because you guys are used to it and you know the information in it. So remember, explicit information is easy to find. It's just what the words are going to say. So literally what the words say is the implicit or explicit information. So the one that I underlined today says they only eat about once a week. That is the easy to find. It's right there written out for you information. So whenever I say that it's explicit, that means it's easy to find. It's just the words. So the explicit, I'm going to put They eat once a week. My E's are not very good. They eat once a week. You guys know what I'm trying to say. That's explicit, easy to find, is right there in the passage for you to read. The implicit is information you have to use your brain to find. You have to infer to find it. You got to dig deeper. So when I think about they only eat once a week, we know that they're not eating ice cream. We know they're not eating Takis. As much as we would love a spider to eat Takis with us, they're not going to eat that. There's some younger kiddos, like kindergartners, may not know that, but because we've had experience with spiders and tarantulas, and you guys know what they eat, you have that background knowledge in your brain already. So you know, even though the passage does not tell you, nowhere in here does it say you feed them once a week and you better be feeding them crickets. It doesn't say it anywhere in there. You just know that because you're smart. So that's the implicit information that you have to dig for and find because you will not find it in the text. So implicit information could be they eat, I would say bugs, but I want to say insects because that's the fancier second grade word. Yeah, they eat insects. Let's draw us a little bug right there. And remember, they also eat other spiders. When they're really hungry, they can eat those other spiders. So this is the passage that you're going to be working with today in your form, in your classwork. It's called a spider life cycle. And this basically goes through all the steps of a spider's life cycle, which, goes in a circle. It is a cycle, which means it goes over and over and over and it continues to go. The one sentence that I want us to focus on is this one right here that's underlined in green. So the explicit is exactly what it says. It's the easy to find information. It's literally saying it right there in front of you. So it says, then the eggs go into an egg sac. So we're going to say the eggs go into an egg sac. So basically, spiders lay eggs. The eggs go into an egg sac that they've made with their own silk, and it says that in the second part. The sac is made from the same silk a web is made from. So when a spider builds its web, that same silk it uses it and wraps it around a bunch of times and makes this little sac to put all the eggs in. What's the implicit information that's in there? What's the information that's hidden that we have to kind of dig for? So you use your brain to find it. Think about that. Think about why would a spider want to put all of their eggs into an egg sac? I can think of two reasons, and I'm hoping you think of one. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I'm thinking I need to move this down more. I'm thinking to keep the eggs safe, and I definitely just spelled eggs wrong, forgot a G. To keep the eggs safe will be a good one. And also, there's tons of eggs when these spiders have eggs. You guys saw the video of the tarantula that had the blue babies. There were hundreds of them. All of them were eggs. At one point, they were eggs before they became baby spiders. So if you put all of those eggs in a sack, it's kind of like a lady with her purse. She's got a cell phone to carry, a charger to carry. She's got, her headphones. She needs a pen, maybe to, write down things as she's working. We carry a lot of stuff around us in our purses, but we don't just carry that stuff like this, like a spider would with their eggs. We put them in a bag, kind of like an egg sac. So I'm going to say that the egg sac not only keeps the eggs safe, but it helps mom. You guys know I mean the mom spider, but I don't have enough room to write that. Helps the mom carry them. Helps them carry them around easier because you never know. She may have laid the eggs, put them in a sack really close to like a pond or something, and then it rained a lot and the pond came up and the spider egg sack's about to go underneath the water, which isn't good. So then instead of her having to pick up all 100 eggs or however many that she laid, all she has to do is pick up that sack and carry the sack with her. So much easier. So on your form today, you're going to be answering some questions about that same passage, okay? So this passage, and Miss Acton's going to have a little blue link down there for me to read it to you because this is a long one today. So you're going to read through it, and then you're going to tell me what's some explicit information, the easy to find, and the implicit information that you see in this passage. You're going to answer some of those questions. So just remember, explicit is like the milk, easy to find. Implicit is like that big piece of information, and you have to dig out the piece of information that you know from your brain. You gotta find it with your brain. Good luck, guys. If you have any trouble, contact your teachers.